Hey folks, Aaron here with Arkto Campers, and in this video, I'm super excited to present to you our 2026 Arkto Campers C10. This is a brand new trailer model for us, and our goal here was to make a smaller and lighter trailer than our current model, the G12. At many of our trade shows, we've been asked, hey, can my Jeep or my Bronco tow the G12? And clearly the answer is no, just with the weight of that trailer. And so what we did here is we managed to shave off 900 pounds from the G12 trailer, basically making a mini version of the G12. Certainly there's a lot of changes here and there, which you're going to see in this video, but yeah, we wanted to take our time right now to do a thorough walkthrough of this C10. So like I said, this trailer is 900 pounds lighter than the G12, making this trailer come in at about 2,700 pounds, 2,750 somewhere. We're still fine tuning a couple of things to get the exact weight rating for it. And we're going to set the GVWR as the same as the G12 at 4,600 pounds. So that means those of you that are managing your weight with a Jeep Wrangler, you might be able to get away with towing one of these, or a Ford Bronco, or maybe you just want that sort of margin with your larger SUV, or something perhaps that you wanted narrower or smaller to go through those tighter trails. The body of the trailer compared to the G12 is 2 feet shorter, 6 inches lower, and 13 inches narrower. And we'll go through the interior and you'll see why that 13 inches narrower matters. Same construction as the G12. This is all composite. In this particular case, it's CFRT composite panels. With the running gear of the trailer is the same Timbren 5200 HD axle suspension. And we're actually putting on Falcon Wild Peak 31-inch tires with Black Rhino 16-inch wheels on the C10. And as we make our way around the front, we'll start discussing all the additional running gear on here, including the chassis. So just like our G12, we're utilizing the same design, a hot dip galvanized steel chassis, which has been doing us a lot of good with the G12. We're quite proud of that design. But up front here, it's very much the same. So we have the same bike rack receiver at the front there for you to be able to mount a bike rack. The Anderson plug against the front wall here for the DC-DC charger. We'll go into the electrical system in a little bit, but just because it's up here up front. Arkto 750 tongue jack. We use the 500 on the prototype here, but all the trailers moving forward will have the 750. Max coupler, 360-degree articulating coupler in the front there. And as you'll probably notice on the front, a little bit different is now the propane tank. So that pertains to the storage that we wanted to achieve out of this small trailer. And so we go ahead and mounted an 11-pound propane tank on the front wall here. There'll be an optional upgrade to actually get 2 tanks, one left and right. And you'll see that moving forward in the next couple builds here. So standing here on the driver's side of the trailer, you'll notice a fairly large storage compartment up front here. So again, part of the concept of our trailers is maximum storage. And so just like I spoke about earlier with the propane tank being mounted to the front, that freed up a whole bunch of space in the front here. And so we have a storage area pretty sizable. I mean, I can pretty much crawl into here with some shelving in here and long enough to store some like folding chairs or folding table. And there's even the space on the side here. And so that's the first half of the storage. And we'll get to the other in a second here. But while we're standing on the side and the lighting's good from this angle, you'll see that the roof design for this trailer is somewhat different from our other trailer, the G12. This one is a wedge style design that was primarily done just to save weight. We had a couple steel lifters in the G12, and so us removing that shaved off of a few pounds. So that was the idea behind this. And of course, we'll see more about that on the interior when we go around there. But dual pane acrylic glass window. We got a 15-amp shore power plug, as well as an SAE port for your portable solar panels if you wish to carry some with you. Water fill for your fresh water tank, and that's a 31-gallon tank in the C10. Down below here is a Truma AquaGo hot water heater, and the trailer will also come standard with a Truma Vario heat furnace. And so we chose to go with that, just 2 separate units that are controlled by a single display inside the trailer, as you'll see in a little bit. So the other half of the storage on the exterior is right here. We like to call this the garage. And so as you see, it's a pretty significant space for such a small trailer. And again, in here, I mean, if you wanted to, instead of up front putting in folding lawn chairs, tables, et cetera, on my personal trailer, I actually put in the barbecue in here and a propane fire pit as well. Moving around to the back of the trailer, you'll see down below actually is some corner stabilizers. We provide 4 corner stabilizers on this trailer. In this case, this particular customer wanted the upgraded Arkto corner stabilizers. Standard will be just the regular Arc corner steadies, just like we do on the G12. On the back wall, you're going to see a shower port here, annex or porch light, which is a amber or white light controllable by the toggle switch here. So you have some lighting while you're standing inside the OVS shower enclosure. So this is approximately a 4 foot by 4 foot curtain room that drops down. That gives you some privacy while you're making use of the shower. Alternatively, if you wanted to, and you're going to see on the interior, we have a portable toilet inside the trailer. You'll be able to bring that toilet outside here, make use of it like this. Down below here is a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug if you were to opt in for the wrap-on electric toilet. All right, so over here on the passenger side of the trailer, you'll see above me we have an awning from OVS. This is actually a 180-degree awning that we decided to use for this trailer, given how small it is. The awning here will actually make a good coverage over the entry door as well as our kitchen. So speaking of which, something that really sets us apart from many other builders out there is the fact that we provide a pantry for our trailers. In this case, we have a 10 cubic foot pantry with a couple shelves in here. Up at the front, we have 110 volt power receptacles if you opt in for the inverter option. And up top is 12 volt and USB ports for all of your devices. Up top is a LED light, which is magnetic and pivotable, so you can pull that away and use that in other areas. And down below is our slide out kitchen. So this is a aluminum and composite slide out kitchen, which is pretty sizable amount of countertop space on here, including that folding counter I just tipped over. We got a drying rack, hot and cold water with gas hard plumbed into the stove, along with electricity for the ignition on the stove. So we have a 2-burner stove, cutlery and spice drawers, which are pretty sizable, as well as a cubby here for, let's say, soap or rags or anything like that, and a bungee down here which you can hang your tea towel on. All of our utilities that supply this kitchen is actually carried through our cable carrier, so that everything is protected while the kitchen's sliding in and out, and you don't run any risk of gas line or water line snagging on the drawer slide as the kitchen's moving around. Just behind me here is a folding prep deck, or picnic table as we like to call it, but that's just another addition of countertop space for you to put your belongings on. And just below here you'll see an annex or a porch light to illuminate the space, along with that one, of course, that's up on the door. As many of you are probably wondering, where's the fridge and freezer? Well, in this particular case, we decided to put the fridge and freezer accessible on the interior, and I'll show you just a second. And the reason that was, again, was weight savings. Many of you are familiar with our G12 trailer and our slide-out fridge freezer that comes out forward of the entry door. And that mechanism, plus the weight of that fridge, by us removing that, actually was a savings of 100 pounds. And so, of course, weight savings was the name of the game for this trailer. And so we decided to add in the fridge freezer as a bar-style fridge freezer here. So you would just make use, of course, by just opening up the door, grabbing the items you need, being able to put it on the table behind you here, and then closing it up. The upswing of that, of course, is now you have a fridge freezer that's accessible in the interior of the trailer. So if you were hanging out there in some inclement weather, you have access to any of the snacks you wanted in your fridge. So why don't we make our way to the interior, and we'll speak more on that. So now that we're on the interior of the trailer, it's a simple matter of just pushing up the roof. So there we go. As you can see, and many of you know, I'm 6'3", so the standing space in here is pretty ample. It's 6'11" actually to the highest point in the roof, giving you plenty of space for a person to sit around here. As you'll probably notice, it looks a little tight, and that's just because our particular design, we decided to turn around the bed into a north-south configuration, which of course impedes in the living space here. And we got around that to create a more livable interior for 2 people to sit down in here comfortably by developing a lifting mechanism for the bed. So this bed simply hinges on the rear wall and lifts straight up for daytime mode. So this provides you with plenty of standing space for a couple people to stand in here, seating room, which of course includes the swiveling lagoon table leg and dinette table. We have storage in view here, so we have a wardrobe just below the bed. Underneath it are a pair of furnace vents. And then there's like this bungee cubby, we call it, so you can just store miscellaneous items down there. In future, what we're going to do as an optional upgrade is storage bins underneath the bed. So there might be some mesh that strings across here to be able to stuff a couple items in, obviously some flatter items, and a set of 6-inch deep bins that'll be back here for further storage. There's plenty of storage in this trailer as it is, and we wanted to try and maximize as much as we could. Either side of the bed, you'll see these little sort of troughs here. These are just storage platforms for storing items while you're sleeping, whether it's like books or your cell phone or anything like that, which also means you'll be able to charge it with the pair of USB ports that are on either side of the bed. So there's USB-A and USB-C ports on both sides of the bed. Moving on to the other areas of the interior of the C10, we have a single seat sitting over here with some storage underneath the lid. On the front wall, we have a cabinet with a shelf for storage of your clothes. A little storage area, bin, cubby, whatever you want to call it, down below. This one was actually utilized there for a nice safe spot to keep your toilet paper, wet wipes, magazines, whatever you like, for the toilet that's actually underneath me. Moving forward is a pair of drawers. And below them is a boot cubby for the storage of your shoes and boots. Up top is a countertop with a cubby, so you can put little bins in there to store the smaller items along with a shelf up top. The fridge, as we spoke about earlier, accessible from the interior. This is a fridge and freezer. This is actually a 110-liter fridge freezer. And as I made mention, there's actually a toilet over here. So if you were to lift the lid and open the door, that gives you access to your portable toilet. So as standard, it'll be a Thetford Model 365 portable toilet. And in this particular case, the customer opted for the wrap-on electric wrapping toilet. Check those toilets out. They're actually pretty cool. And as we move up here, you'll see the dual pane acrylic window. Pretty standard stuff for a window in a trailer, but just to give you a visual of it, it gives you ample amount of airflow through here, along with the 3 windows that you can see in the canvas. So all these 3 windows can be zipped open and provide a lot of airflow and a lot of light into the interior here. On the far right side of the countertop space here, you're going to see a couple of black panels. The upper one is the control for the Truma hot water heating system and the furnace. And down below is the display for the Red Arc electrical system. All of our trailers come standard with a Red Arc Rogue and Red Arc Managed 30 battery management system. And our trailers can accommodate up to 640 amp hours of lithium in the C10 and up to 600 watts of rooftop solar. So you can get those in packages of 200, 400, or 600 watts of solar on the roof, all while still being able to utilize the SAE port on the sidewall of the exterior of the trailer for your portable panels. All of electrical is housed here inside the bench, inside the interior of the trailer, so it remains accessible to you along with all your batteries. So some further talking points about the interior construction of our trailer. All of the light colored bits, so these would be the drawer faces and cabinet doors, are all a composite material. So there's actually no wood in the entire construction of our trailer, including the walls, floor, roof, cabinets, everything. All of the dark colored stuff that you see here is actually aluminum. So that's actually all the full construction of the bed support area as well, including the lifting bed. As I mentioned earlier, the walls are all composite. CFRT sandwich panels is what they're made of. And moving upwards into our canvas, in this particular case, this is our insulated canvas. So for those of you that are interested in camping in some cooler weather, this is an ideal upgrade for you. What a lot of people like is the bows that we stitch in here. So this means that with lifting and lowering the roof of this trailer, given that it's a wedge top roof, there's no bungee cords to hook up or wrap around the interior or anything like that. You simply pull down the roof and all the canvas folds to the interior. With the insulated factor of the R4 on this canvas, this actually makes it ideal for cold weather camping because our sidewalls and roof are rated as an R7 and the floor is approximately an R9. And so that gives you quite a lot of insulation value combined with the furnace, the Truma furnace, which is quite the workhorse to keep the interior nice and toasty when you're camping in cool weather. The canvas, on the other hand, actually does double duty in insulating pretty well in hot weather. So obviously living in the southern climates, it gets pretty toasty while you're camping in the summer. And as far as pop-up materials go, the insulated version of these is the way to go. And it really cuts down on that heat buildup on the interior of the trailer. With the windows in the canvas, they're all openable. So these can all zip open and fold down. and there's a bug mesh behind there. That is not removable, but of course the window screen here can be zipped and folded down to create as much airflow as you want in here. And naturally you can combine that with the roof fan. We use a max air fan on the roof, and that provides a lot of movement of air in here. So now that we're all done with the interior walkthrough, well, we just button everything up. Simply a matter of lowering the bed with your hand, bed's down, and just grabbing the top of the roof, pulling it down, and going around the exterior and closing up all the latches. So there you have it, the Arkto Campers C10. It's a trailer we're super pumped about. So if you have any questions or want to find out further information about specs or our optional upgrades, you can hop on our website, arktocampers.com, and of course reach out to us and follow us on social media at Arkto Campers. Thanks guys, have a nice day.